Hello everyone and welcome to another random bits and pieces segment from my brain, and today, still a while for we are playing some more Franchise Hockey Manager 7 with my Tampa Bay Lightning Historical Challenge. Alright, so in the last video at the start I made a trade and it kind of helped us turn things around in just one short month. We won quite a few games and we are now reigning supreme at the top of the Eastern Conference standings. So acquiring Sergei Gonchar was apparently a really good move for our team. One of the very few trades that I have made that didn't quite backfire, at least not yet. So we're gonna go ahead and knock on wood. There's actual wood next to me. So there you go. Alright, so we are about to do December here. We have a 15-7-1 record. That is pretty decent. And again, first in the East. That is excellent. And we have a couple day-to-day injuries that shouldn't be too long before the players come back. So that's Steve Ruchin and Ryan Smith. So they are two pretty decent players. So we do want them back, but it's not. Those are not lengthy injuries, so we should be fine. At least I hope so. And we are going to be starting the month on the road. That's our Western California-ish trip, and I think that I mentioned that at the end of the last video, how the schedule is weird, where we're going to be playing in Anaheim just to fly to Phoenix to play the next day and then come back to LA and San Jose. That's a little weird to me, as far as, at least geographically, that's kind of weird to do it that way, but hey, the NHL has not exactly been known throughout its history for making sense a whole lot of times, so, Alright, so I think we are pretty much ready to go. I did check to look at the trading block. I have absolutely no intention of making any more trades. I barely have anything left to trade anyway, so we're kind of stuck with the team that we have. Unless something falls on my lap that is an absolute no-brainer, I do not expect to make any more trades this season. But I guess we will see. Alright, so let's get that started. We are going to be playing in Anaheim, and that is today. So Anaheim is 8-15-2. And we are 1-0 against the Mighty Ducks this season. We did beat them 5-2 at home. So let's see if we can beat them on the road as well. Alright, so looks like we are going to continue to go with Johan Edberg. He has 4 fires under his name, and we are going to be facing Guilbert. 2 fires for him. And of course, it is the start of the video, so go Lightning, go! Alright. Alright, well, it is an identical 5-2 victory, so home or away, doesn't matter. We are beating the Mighty Ducks 5-2 this season, apparently. Right, so that's a nice start, a win on the road, pretty decisive win too. We outshot Anaheim 43-17 in that one. Marcus Naslund was the first star of the game. He had a hat trick, 3 goals. Sergei Gonchar continued his great play with his new team. He was the second star with a goal and an assist. And Rob Blake, also a great pickup for the team, 3rd star with 2 assists. Right, so Anaheim actually took a 2-0 lead into this game. They were up 2-0 after 1. It didn't look too good for us. But then Marcus Naslund got to work, and that was pretty much a power play effort here. In the second period, he scored on the power play from Matt Sundin and Sergei Gonchar. Then he scored on the power play again less than 2 minutes later. That was his 5th of the season from Rob Blake and Martin Straka. Then Martin Straka scored his 5th from Scott Young and Rob Blake. It was 3-2 Tampa Bay after 2. Then we added 2 more goals into the third period. 8 seconds into the third period, Sergei Gonchar scored from Matt Sundin and Keith Kachuk, and then Marcus Naslund completed his hat-trick 1 minute into the third period from Boris Mironov and Bill Guerin. 5-2 for the Lightning. Nice victory. And it's nice to see Marcus Naslund starting to produce. He was a pretty good player, like right around these years in real life. Played some really good hockey with Vancouver. Alright, so good night for Marcus Naslund. He had a hat trick, we saw that. William Davidson is satisfied with my work. We went 11-3 last month, so you should be more than just satisfied with that. Right, Ryan Smith feeling better, so might still be in the lineup here soon. Right, and now we took an express flight to Phoenix to go and play against the Coyotes. The Coyotes are 11-3 this season, playing 500 hockey. We have not played Phoenix this season, so let's take a look at their lineup. Alright, so Mike Johnson, the hockey analyst now. He's an analyst on the NHL Network and on TSN, maybe other channels that I'm not aware of, but he is hurt right now with a torn rib cage muscle, out for 2 to 3 months, and Thomas Holmstrom is out as well, so not gonna play. So in net it's Bruno Campisi and Andrew Raycroft, and they are both Alpha Star players. Kevin Dean, Phil Housley, Michael Russell, Brad Warenka, some guy I've never heard of, Gerard Unterlugar. I'm sure I've massacred that several ways. Dan McGillis, Frederick Lawson, and Yannick Tremblay on D. That's not that great. Then Alex X, Brant Myers, AC Zamnov, Elmanen, Olchuk, Elenan, Vopat, Fedic, Keith Jones, Petrov, Selane, Banham, and Niziviz. That's not a very good team, at least looking at that there. Alright, so we're going to go with Nikolai Abibulin for this game. He has one fire under his name. Bruno Campisi is going to be the goaltender for Phoenix. He has a snowflake. And we won 4-3, so second game in 2 nights, all on the road, and that's 2 W's, so that's pretty impressive, pretty good. Oh yeah, we outshot Phoenix 50-17, and that one, Marcus Naslund was the first out of the game. He had 3 assists, so he had a hat trick yesterday, 3 assists today, so that's 6 points in 2 games. That's pretty excellent. Brad Warenka was the second star with 2 assists, and Keith Kitchuk was the third star with a goal against his former team. Alright, so Phoenix opened up the scoring in the first, so it was 1-0 for Phoenix after 1. Then in the second period, Martin Straka scored from Francis Bouillon and Marcus Naslund. Then Vili Peltonen from Marcus Naslund and Michael Anzus. It was 2-1 at that point. Then Phoenix tied the game, but Sergei Gonchar scored on the power play from Matt Sundin and Marcus Naslund. It was 3-2 Tampa Bay after 2. Going into the third period, Phoenix tied the game, so they were pretty persistent, but then with 27 seconds left to go in the game, Keith Kitchuk hurt his former team with a goal assisted by Peter Shaslevy and Brian Rafalski. It was a 4-3 Tampa Bay Lightning victory. Alright, Mike Eagles is back from suspension in Calgary, back in the lineup over there. Stu Barnes is hurt in St. Louis. He's going to miss 5 months with a torn ankle ligament. Oof. Right, Steve Ruchin is back. Ryan Smith is back as well. So look at that, we're getting reinforcements here. Good night for Tony Amonte. He had 3 goals and an assist against the Montreal Canadiens. Alright, so we are in LA to play against the Kings. They are 13-8-5. We did win against the Kings at home 3-2 earlier this season. So again, let's see if we can beat them in LA. We're going back to Johannesburg for that game. 4 fires for him. Bill Ranford is going to be in net for the Kings. 5 fires for him. Oof, that is a trouncing. We won this 8-2. Oh yeah. We outshot the Kings 56-22. Rob Blake was the first star against his former team, 3 assists for him. Matt Sundin was the second star with a goal and 2 assists, and Ryan Smith celebrated his return to the lineup with 2 assists and the third star. Alright, so only one goal was scored in the first. It was Bill Guerin from Rob Blake. It was 1-0 Tampa Bay after 1. Then in the second period, the Kings tied the game, and then we scored 4 unanswered goals. Vyacheslav Kozlov scored from Rob Blake and Vili Peltonen. Then Matt Sundin scored his 15th on the power play from Alexander Mogilny and Ryan Smith. Keith Kitchuk from Matt Sundin and Scott Young, and then Vili Peltonen on the power play. That was his 5th from Rob Blake and Vyacheslav Kozlov. It was 5-1. The Kings scored to make it 5-2 before the end of the second period. Then in the third, we added 3 more goals. Martin Straka from Boris Mironov, then Sergei Gonchar scored his 5th on the power play from Ryan Smith and Matt Sundin, and then Bill Guerin scored his 5th from Brian Rafalski and Martin Straka, 8-2, the final score for the Lightning. We are killing it during this road trip here. Oh, Warren Reichel got suspended in that game against us. He's going to miss 7 games. That's a long-ass time. Now we're going to head to San Jose for the last game of that road trip on the western coast. Alright, so San Jose is really good this season. Wow, they are 21-8-2. That is really good. That's even better than us. Let's take a look at their lineup here. So they have Ravil Guzmanov, that's hurt, he's not going to be playing. And neither is Luke Richardson, not going to play. Broken Hamet Bone, out for 2 to 3 months. Alright, so in net they have Arthur Irby and Craig Hillier, Paul Coffey, Krister Olsen, Mike Radji, Jason Marshall, Richardson, Brad Lukowicz, Johansson, Undy. Up front, they have Peter Ferraro, Marian Osa, Milan Deduk, Ray Whitney, Kuznetsov, Allison, Datsuk, Sullivan, Verta, Koreshkov, Alfredson, Bilesma, Falloon, and Shatanya. They have a really good offense and some decent goaltending. The D is maybe a little bit weak, but yeah, the forwards are maybe even better than ours. So San Jose was able to build a pretty decent team there. It's going to be a pretty good challenge. So we're going to go with Nikolai Abibulin for that one. He has 2 fires. Artus Airbay is going to be in net for San Jose. He has 5 fires under his name. Not going to be an easy game. We might actually lose that one. Nope, we won. We won 4-1, so we were able to pretty much contain that really good offense of theirs. We outshot them 33-21. Sergei Gonchar continued to show that it was a good idea for me to acquire him. He was the first star with 2 assists. Vyacheslav Kozlov was the second star with an assist, and Rob Blake was the third star with a goal. Alright, so we scored 3 unanswered goals in the first period. Matt Sundin scored unassisted. Then Rob Blake from Sergei Gonchar and Vyacheslav Kozlov, and then Steve Richin from Sergei Gonchar. 3-0 Tampa Bay after 1. Then in the second period, San Jose scored. It was 3-1. And then in the third, we sealed the deal with Ryan Smith scoring from Martin Straka. 4-1 Tampa Bay, the final score. Pretty good game against a pretty good team. Pretty happy with that result. Oh, Gonchar is hurt. Thankfully, it's only day to day. Yeah, we don't need that. It's a bruised toe, so that shouldn't be too bad, right? There was no stopping Kip Miller playing for Atlanta. He had 3 goals and an assist against the Nashville Predators. Dean McCammon got hurt playing against the Oilers. He's going to miss 6 months with a torn UCL. See you next year, Dean McCammon. Memorable night for Stefan Matteau in that same game. He had a hat-trick, 3 goals. And still in that same game, Jeremy Roenick had 4 assists. Pretty good. Let's see what's going on with Gonchar here. Alright, we're good. He's just gonna maybe miss a couple games or something. Oh, alright, so some people are on waivers. Jonas Ronquist, Gordon Murphy, and Mikko Eloranta. And suspension for Robin Regier of the Islanders. He's going to miss 1 game. Right, so we have a few more days off before we play a quick 2-game home series. So we're going to be back home for just a little bit. Owen Nolan keeps fans on their feet all night. He had a hat-trick, 3 goals against San Jose. And we have a trade proposal from the Dallas Stars. They want to trade me Timo Elomo for Peter Shastlivy. I'm going to say no. Shastlivy actually plays games from time to time. The other one, I don't know if he's going to be developing or not. Since I've never heard of him, more than likely, no. Alright, 1 more day off. Good night for Josef Stumpel, who had 4 assists against Edmonton. Pretty good. Adam Oates extends his goal streak to 5 games with 2 goals and an assist in that same game. Adam Oates was more known for his passing ability than goal-scoring ability, so it's pretty impressive to see him with a 5-goal-scoring streak. Robin Regier is back from suspension with the Islanders, and Mario Lemieux extends his point streak to 12 games with a goal and 2 assists against the Washington Capitals. Alright, so we are about to host the Carolina Hurricanes. The Hurricanes are 15, 12, and 2. That's good for 4th in the East. We are 2-0 against Carolina this season. We won both games 4-2. Alright, so Carolina's going to go with Chris Osgood in net, and we are going to go with Johan Edberg. And it is yet another 4-2 victory over the Hurricanes. So we played 3 games against them, and they are all 4-2 victories. Ooh, excuse me. Alright, so we outshot the Hurricanes 41-25. Matt Sundin was the first star of the game. He had 2 assists. Patrick Poulin was the second star with a goal, and Keith Kitchuk was the third star with a goal and an assist. We had 14,446 people in attendance for this game. So the Hurricanes scored first in the first period. Then Steve Ruchin tied the game from Rob Blake, and then the Hurricanes scored again. So they were up 2-1 after 1. Martin Strakos tied the game in the second period. That was a power play goal from Vyacheslav Kozlov and Rob Blake, 2-2 after 2. And then in the third, Boris Mironov scored from Matt Sundin and Keith Kitchuk, and then Keith Kitchuk from Matt Sundin and Ed Jovanovski, 4-2. The Tampa Bay Lightning win this game. Alright, we have 3 days off here before we host the Nashville Predators. Eric Desjardins is suspended in Montreal. He's going to miss 2 games. Steve Duchesne played in his 1000th game in his career. So he plays for Florida now. That happened against Nashville. He got an assist to celebrate that milestone. So Steve Duchesne is 34 and he is a 3-star player. Mario Lemieux extends his point streak to 13 games with an assist against Phoenix. A couple more days off here. Sergei Gonchar might be back soon. That's great news. Raimo Elmanen is not going to get suspended in Phoenix. And then Gonchar is feeling better yet again. Alright, so we are about to play against the Nashville Predators at home. So Nashville is 12, 11, and 6 this season. We have not played against them, so the Predators they are still a pretty new team, and they have a winning record, so that's pretty good for them, I suppose. It doesn't look like there's any injuries in Nashville, so this is the best team that we can face. Sean Burke and Jeff Hackett are in net for Nashville, so that's pretty decent as far as goaltending goes. Doug Bodger, Jean-Jacques Daigneault, Brian Marchment, Ruslan Saleh, Alexander Karpovtsev, Yuri Slegger, Jason York, and Yerofayev on D. Then Black, Oglund, Pellerin, Sushinsky, Bobrovnikov, Dubé Buginin, Ray Ferraro, Tim Taylor, Falk, McKay, Renberg, and Topatig up front. Alright. Alright, so Jeff Hackett is going to be in net for Nashville. We are going to go with Johan Edberg again. And it's another win for the Tampa Bay Lightning. We won this game 2-1. We were actually outshot in this game 24-22. Wow. Pretty impressive for Nashville to be able to stifle us offensively like that. We have a pretty good offense. Sergei Gonchar celebrated his return to the lineup with 2 assists. He was the first star. Maxim Sushinsky, former Tampa Bay Lightning, was the second star with a goal, and Rob Blake was the third star with an assist. 13,860 people in attendance for this game. So Nashville scored first in the first period. It was 1-0 Nashville at that point. In the second period, Ryan Smith tied the game with a power play goal from Sergei Gonchar and Matt Sundin. Tied at 1, and then in the third period, Keith Kitchuk scored from Sergei Gonchar and Rob Blake. It was 2-1, and that score held, and that was a victory for the Lightning. Red light stays on for Brian Holzinger. He had a hat-trick against the Flyers. Scott Gomez is not suspended in Boston. However, Ulf Samuelsson is suspended in Pittsburgh. He's going to miss 2 games. In that same game, Mario Lemieux extended his point streak to 14 with a goal against the Bruins. And Gonchar is completely recovered from his bruised toe. Alright, so we are hitting the road again for a couple quick games. And we have a few days off here in between. Looks like we're not playing all that much in December, all told. Mario Lemieux's point streak ended at 14 games. It was held scoreless against the Hurricanes. Darby Hendrickson is suspended in Toronto. He's going to miss 4 games. Shane Corson has been put on waivers. He plays in Washington now. And Eric Desjardins is back from his suspension in Montreal. Alright, so we are in Philadelphia now to play against the Flyers. They are 13, 14, and 5. That's good for 8 in the East. So they hold the last playoff spot despite having a losing record. That's the beauty of those years. Is that you could have a losing record and still make the playoffs. Don't see that anymore. Alright, so we are 2-0 against the Flyers this season. We have... oh yeah, that's right. It was a home and home against them, and we got 2 shutouts in 2 games. That's true, I remember now. It's going to be pretty hard to top that. So we have Nikolai Abibulin in net for this game. They have Kevin Weeks. And that's our first loss of December. We lost 3-1, so we couldn't contain the Flyers like we did in the first 2 games against them, and it is a 3-1 defeat. Oh yeah, we got out goalied here. We completely outshot the Flyers 48-28, but Kevin Weeks played on his head in that one. So Jim Campbell was the first star of the game. He had a goal. Scott Young was the second star with a goal as well, and Kevin Weeks, a well-deserved third star with 47 saves. Probably should have had the first star, as far as I'm concerned. Flyers scored twice in the first period. They were up 2-0 at that point. Then they took a 3-0 lead into the second period. Shortly after Scott Young scored from Brian Rafalski and Martin Straka, it was 3-1. Nobody scored in the third period, so the 3-1 score held and we lost. Owen Nolan has achieved 300 goals in his career with a goal against the Nashville Predators. Owen Nolan is 27 and he is a 3.5-star player. Rich Pilon is suspended with the Islanders. He's going to miss 6 games. And Ulf Samuelsson is back from suspension in Pittsburgh. And we are at Madison Square Garden to play against the Rangers. The Rangers are 15, 11, and 4. That's good for 6th in the East. We are 0-1 against the Rangers. We did lose 2-1 against them at home earlier this season. Let's see if we can enact revenge on the road. Johan Edberg is going to be in net for us. Mike Richter in net for the Rangers. That's another defeat. We lost this one 3-1. We are not invincible. We also were outshot in this game 32-28. Sergei Zubov was the first star of the game. He had an assist. Steve Rutchin was the second star with an assist. And Brian Leach was the third star with an assist as well. Alright, so nobody scored in the first period. Then in the second period, the Rangers scored twice. Then in the third period, Rob Blake scored his 10th from Steve Rutchin and Sergei Gonchar. It was 2-1, but a little bit more than 3 minutes later, the Rangers scored again, made it 3-1, and we just couldn't recover from that. We couldn't tie the game. Strong night for Paul Coffey with the Sharks. He had a hat-trick, 3 goals against Phoenix. Right, now we have a day off and then we're going back home for 1 game. Right, Joe Sakic has reached 400 goals in his career. He had a goal and an assist against Carolina. Joe Sakic is 30 years old and he is still a 5-star player. And in that same game, Owen Nolan extended his goal streak to 5 games with a goal and an assist. And Rick Dudley might lose his job as the Montreal Canadiens coach. So Montreal is 11, 18, and 5 this season. So struggling a little bit in Montreal. Alright, so we are now going to be facing the Toronto Maple Leafs. They are in town. They have a 14, 16, and 5 record. They are 8 in the East. We have not played Toronto this season. So let's see what's going on here. So Jason Arnott is hurt for quite a while. Mike Eastwood as well. So those 2 guys are not playing. Darby Hendrickson is suspended. He's not playing. Brian Berard is hurt. He's also not playing. Alright, so among the players who will be playing, we see Grant Fuhr and Mikhail Shtalenkov in net. Anders Eriksson, Todd Gill, Dave Ellett, Dmitry Mironov, Yaroslav Modry on D. Wendell Clark, Connie Wirth, Manderville, Perrault, German Titov, former Tampa Bay Lightning, German Titov, Zemlichka, Gilmore, York, Wilm, Kelyuzhny, Larionov, Jamal Myers, and Joe Sacco. How is Titov doing? Yeah, still not doing too good, huh? 5 points in 33 games for German Titov. Yeah, you can have him. Alright. Let's see if we can get back on track here with a win. So Grant Fuhr is going to be in net for Toronto. He has a snowflake under his name. We're going to go with Nikolai Abibulin, who has 2 fires. And we are back to winning. A 4-2 win here against Toronto. We outshot them 41-27. Matt Sundin was the first star of the game. He had 2 goals. Igor Larionov was the second star with 2 assists, and Bill Guerin was the third star with 2 assists as well. 14,156. 14,156 people in attendance. Wow, that's like the dots in my brain stopped connecting and no speech was coming out. Alright, so at the 10-minute mark of the first period, Matt Sundin scored from Keith Tkachuk and Rob Blake. It was 1-0, but then the Leafs scored twice, so Toronto was up 2-1 after 1. Then in the second period, Matt Sundin scored on the power play from Ryan Smith and Bill Guerin. Then Ryan Smith scored on the power play as well from Sergei Gonchar and Bill Guerin. It was 3-2 Tampa Bay after 2. And in the third period, Vili Peltonen scored from Teppo Numminen. 4-2 victory for the Lightning. Vili Peltonen is day-to-day. That's fine, I suppose. It's not even one where he's gonna be absolutely missing games. Good game for Jason Woolley. He had 4 assists against Washington. Warren Reichel is back from suspension with the Kings. He is back in the lineup over there. And we are about to play Pittsburgh. Alright, so we are in Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh is 29-3. They are second in the East, right behind us. We have only 2 points ahead of them. So if they beat us, they might overtake the first spot in the East. We are 2-0 against Pittsburgh this season. We did win 4-3 in Pittsburgh and 3-1 in Tampa Bay. Let's see if we have another road win in us today. Johan Edberg in net for us. He's 4 fires. And Mike Rossetti in net for Pittsburgh. He has 4 fires as well. And it's a tie. 2-2. Alright, so I guess 2 good teams face each other. And, you know, we tied a game. We did get most of the offense, so we outshot Pittsburgh 38-25. Mario Lemieux was the first star of the game. He had a goal and an assist. Vyacheslav Kozlov was the second star with a goal and an assist, and Jaromir Jagr was the third star with an assist. Nobody scored in the first. Then in the second, Pittsburgh took a 1-0 lead. And then we went into the third period. Vyacheslav Kozlov scored on the power play from Rob Blake and Sergei Gonchar. The game was tied at 1. Francis Bouillon gave us a lead from Vyacheslav Kozlov and Scott Young, but then 24 seconds later, Mario Lemieux tied the game. That went in overtime. Nobody scored, obviously. So it's a 2-2 tie. Everybody gets a point. Suspension for Ray Bork. Oh, wow. Ray Bork got suspended. He's going to miss 6 games. No additional miss time for Joey Gino. So, wow, Boston played dirty in that game. So, Bork got suspended for 6 games. Gino has been looked at, but he's not suspended. Owen Nolan extends his goal streak to 6 games with a goal and 2 assists against Buffalo. Big game for Peter Sikora, who had a hat-trick, 3 goals against Toronto. And Darby Hendrickson is back from suspension in Toronto after that game. Right, so we have 2 days off, and then we're gonna... Oh, it's Christmas. We have 2 days off, and then we're gonna play in Atlanta against the Trashers. Alright, so it is Christmas. And now we're in Atlanta just like that. Alright, so Atlanta is now 11-17-5. That's good for 14th in the East. We are 1-1-1 against the Trashers this season. So let's take a look at them. So Yerky Lume is not going to play. He's hurt with a bruised hip. But other than that, everybody else is going to play. Alright, Nikolai Abibulin is going to be in net for us. He has 2 fires. Roman Turek is going to be in net for Atlanta. He has 1 fire. And we won 4-1. Good. Oh yeah, we completely dominated that game in shots, 55-15. Brian Rafalski was the first star of the game. He had a goal and an assist. Boris Mironov was the second star with an assist, and Bill Guerin was the third star with an assist as well. Alright, nobody scored in the first. Then in the second period, Brian Rafalski scored from Michael Anzus. Then Matt Sundin from Marcus Neslin and Brian Rafalski. Then Atlanta scored, made it 2-1, and then we scored. Martin Straka scored from Scott Young and Boris Mironov. It was 3-1 Tampa Bay at that point. Then in the third period, Keith Ketchuk scored his 10th from Bill Guerin and Teppo Numminen. It was 4-1, and that was the final score. Dynamic passing leads to productive night for Jaromir Jagr. He had 5 assists against Chicago. That's pretty good. And that was 12 straight games for him with a point. And Mike Sullivan is suspended in San Jose. He's going to miss 5 games. Alright, and this is already our last game of December here. We're going to be hosting the Florida Panthers. Then, of course, I'm going to sim until the end of the month. But as far as games to be played, that's the last one. So Florida's going to be in town with a 13-17-4 record. That's good for 12th in the East. And surprisingly, we have not played the Florida Panthers so far this season. Alright, so they have Jose Theodore and Andre Mazin in net. Steve Duchesne, Kenny Janssen, Sharavayev, Anderson, Campbell, Rouse, and Warner on D. René Corbet, Johnson, Carrier, Laurie, Sturm, Alto, Corkum, Daniels, Kucharczyk, Prokopiev, Shellberg, Digman, Iginla, and Sundstrom up front. Alright, let's see if we can beat them. They're going to go with Jose Theodore in net. He has a snowflake under his name. We are going with Johan Edberg and his 4 Fires. And it is a 5-3 victory. So we managed to only lose 2 games this month. We tied 1 and we won the rest. So that's pretty good. We outshot Florida 41-22. Scott Young was the first star of the game. He had a goal and an assist. Niklas Sundstrom was the second star with a goal. And Keith Ketchuk was the third star with 2 assists. 14,322 people in attendance for this game. Right, Florida opened up the scoring in the first. Then in the second period, Teppo Numminen tied the game for Michael Anzus, and then Scott Young gave us the lead from Keith Ketchuk. It was 2-1 Tampa Bay after 2. Then in the third period, Ed Jovanovski scored from Scott Young and Keith Ketchuk. Then Mikael Nylander from Marcus Naslin. It was 4-1 Tampa Bay at that point. Florida scored, made it 4-2, but Boris Mironov gave us a 3-goal lead back with his 5th of the season from Bill Guerin and Vyacheslav Kozlov. The Panthers had another one in store, but it was too little too late. That 2-goal lead held until the end of the game, and we won 5-3. Mironov is hurt, but I don't think he's going to miss any games. Oh, no suspension from Matt Sundin. Okay, that's good. Then Ed Jovanovski improves at left defense. Good. Yeah, it would have sucked to lose Sundin for like 11 games or something crazy because, you know, suspensions in this game are pretty unrealistic. Ray Shepard has a great game. He had 3 goals. A hat trick against Buffalo. Patrick Roy played in his 800th game in his career. It was a tie against the Ottawa Senators, a 3-3 tie. Patrick Roy is 34 and he is still a 5-star player, still in Montreal. Joe Sacco could not be stopped. He had a hat-trick against the Islanders. Jaromir Jagr's point streak ended at 12 games. He was held scoreless against the Washington Capitals, and Vili Peltonen is completely recovered from his minor injury. Alright, Alexander Prokopiev set everything up tonight for the Panthers. He had a goal and 4 assists against Chicago. That's pretty good. Oh wow, Prokopiev is having a point per game season. Suspension over for Rich Pilon with the Islanders, back in the lineup over there. Alright, so that's the... Alright, and the player poll results. So the best skater is Pavel Bure with the Kings. Artist shot is Al McInnes with the Flames. The toughest is Brant Myers with Phoenix. Fastest is Pavel Bure with the Kings. Best role model, Ron Francis in Pittsburgh. The cleanest is Brian Campbell with the Florida Panthers. Most controversial is Benoit Brunet in Montreal. Overrated is Alexander Degg in Washington. The most underrated is Guy Carbonneau with Pittsburgh. Smartest is Steve Yzerman in Detroit. The toughest goalie to beat is Dominik Hasek in Buffalo. And the coach you'd most like to play for is Scotty Bowman in Pittsburgh. Alright, and we have one more day to sim here. Alright, so the players of the month were Jaromir Jagr and Kevin Weeks. Oh yeah, Flyers had a losing record when we faced them, and now they are 3 games above 500. That's pretty good. Alright, so we are first in the East still. After December with 50 points, 24-9-2 record. That's pretty good. There are other good teams too behind us though, so that is not a lock. Pittsburgh is only 2 points behind us, and then the Hurricanes are 8 points behind us. So as we saw at the end of last season, 6 or 8 points is nothing as a lead when you start losing nonstop. So yeah, alright. So yeah, the Washington Capitals are really bad, and it probably doesn't help them that I took pretty much their best player away. Alright, so in the West we have San Jose, that's completely at the top. They have a really good record. Colorado, Detroit, LA, Calgary, Dallas, Vancouver, and St. Louis. Yeah, Washington is the worst team in the league. Chicago started to play a little bit better, so it's not them anymore. Alright, so Sundin is probably still about a point per game, I would say, with the Montiad. Oh yeah, 43 points in 35 games for Sundin. Vyacheslav Kozlov is 28-35. Blake is 27-31. Gonchar is 25-28. Kitchuk 24-35. Straka 23-35. And then it goes, it kind of trickles down from there. But all in all, we're looking pretty good over here. I like it. And now in the entire league, the best goal scorer is Pavel Bure with 23 goals, and then you have 3 guys with 22, Jagr, Nolan, and Sikora. And then we have Matt Sundin, that's 6 with 19. Then in the assists department, Sakic is first with 41, and the best scorer is Jagr with 56 points. Sundin is 7th with 43. Yeah, he's absolutely starting to play like a beast. I like it. Yet again, I'm going to look at the goaltender leaders, but I don't think we're going to see anything in there. We have not been winning thanks to our goaltending. That's not what's been going on here. Our goaltending is under average. Yeah. I mean, Edberg has 14 wins. That's not bad. But yeah, he has a 915 save percentage. That's not great. Alright. So it looks like it was a little bit of a shorter video today. Not sure if it's because we didn't play many games or if I've been talking faster than usual or what. But it looks like we're pretty much done, so I'm gonna go ahead and stop here for today. So as usual, I do want to thank you for tuning in, and if you've liked the video and you would like to help support me and my channel, please feel free to like, subscribe, share, comment, all of that good stuff. And until I roll this game again, I'll see you guys next time. Thank you.